Hello friends, it's your favorite neighborhood nerd, Simone, with the pens that I have currently inked on April 19th, 2025. I have inked them at various different times since the beginning of the year, and I have a hard time deciding which pens I want to unink, but I want to move on and play with some other inks. So I have decided to talk about each pen, show you what nib is in those pens, what ink is there, how my writing experience is, and then at the end I want to pick 3 pens that I want to move forward, and the rest I am going to unink. And then I will show you what I have inked next time. So there is 10 pens, and I have found with the amount of writing that I'm currently doing, 10 is almost too many pens inked. I don't get to interact with each pen as much as I would like. And to me, it is important to form an opinion of a pen and ink combination. That's also the reason why I want to clear the slate and ink new pens, because I am realizing that even I have no problem with inking more pens and, having a pen case full of 20, 30 pens inked. But if forming an opinion on each pen and ink pairing is what I enjoy and what brings me joy, then I need to start new. So we are going to start and write every single one into my notebook. I've prepared it. There's 10 pens, and as you can see, I'm a fairly messy stamper. Now this is not straight, and I cannot live with that. I chose a stamp from my friend Brandy Kincaid that she did with Feed Your Craft many moons ago. I have never used it. It's a chicken that is taking a photo, and it is called, the whole stamp set and the whole kit was called View From Here, because I've been enjoying listening to all the bird sounds outside when I'm on walks, and I've been wondering what bird is which, and so I thought birds are totally appropriate. And I'm also giving myself the opportunity to not do the same thing every time. So here we are, chickens on the page. 10 pens are inked. I am starting with this. So what I'm going to do with each pen, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to talk about the nib that is inside, the ink that is inside. I want to tell you when I inked the pen. I am going to write a little snippet about how I feel about the pen, the ink, the combination, and then I will rate the ink, the flow, and the pen. And then I'm going to move on to the next one. I am also using a water brush to move some of the ink that I'm going to lay down with my pens into the chickens. And the paper that I'm writing on is the Sanzen Tomoe River paper, and this notebook that I'm using is the Hobonichi blank notebook. I have had really good experiences with this paper so far, considering the, many bad experiences that we've heard about. This one has been performing well so far this year for me. So this is the Bone Crusher 7 Studios Velma in a Mackenzie Penworks diamond cast, and I purchased this secondhand. You cannot see how amazing this looks when you don't have it in sunlight. It sparkles amazingly. I can put a clip here so you can see what it looks like outside. And I really love how unseaming it looks. I put in here my Schon Design Monoc nib with a medium nib. It writes medium on the right side, fine on the reverse side. The ink that is inside is Sailor Shikiori Okuyama. This pen is the Bone Crusher 7 Studios Velma with a Monoc medium nib. The blank is Mackenzie Diamond Cast Black Cherry, and the ink is Sailor Shikiori Okuyama. This pen is such a great size. It lays perfectly in my hand. The Monoc nib works great in it, and I love the ink color. Such a great pairing. The next pen that I have is the Leonardo Momento Zero Kintsugi. This was a exclusive collaboration with Stilo e Steel for their Black Friday collab. I pre-ordered it and received it in the beginning of February. It has a medium steel Yovo nib. The ink that is inside here is Lamy Sepia. Wow, I was looking for the chicken. I inked it on March 29th. The pen is the Leonardo Momento Zero with a medium steel nib. It is made in collaboration with Stilo e Stile. The color is Kintsugi, and it is inked with Lamy Sepia. The shape and overall feel of the pen is great. That's why I don't really understand why I haven't reached for this. The ink is meh. Do I want to sell it? The ink is a 5. The flow is a 10. Absolutely no complaints about this. This ink performs really well in the pen, and the pen is also a 5. And I am actually uninking this, cleaning this, and selling it. Before I'm continuing with this pen, I just want to say that over the past 2 months since I inked a pen every day in February, I have noticed that I don't need that many pens. Even if I'm reducing the amount of pens that I have, there's still enough left in my collection. And so I am on the one hand, I'm very attached to some of my pens, even though I know that they don't work anymore for me. But a pen that I haven't formed a special bond with, I am really very open to just pass it along, as I am going to do with this Leonardo Momento Zero Kintsugi. The next pen that I have here is the Palette Custom 823 with a medium 14 karat gold nib. It is inked since February 7th with PW Ackerman SBRE Brown. This ink works extremely well for me. It has the exact shading, coloring that I enjoy. That's why, same with the Lamy Sepia, I am just going to pass that one along, but I'm going to definitely keep Lamy Sepia in my SBRE Brown in my collection. The pen is the Pilot Custom 823 in amber with a medium 14 karat gold nib. The ink is PW Ackerman SBRE Brown. Every time I pick up this pen, it feels perfect in my hand. Every ink I've put in here, I have enjoyed. This is a keeper pen. Yeah, this is just a great pen. I don't really know what else to say about this. I just enjoy it so much, and I don't ever think that this pen will leave my collection. Totally forgot to write down when I inked this. I told you, but I did not write it down. The next pen is my Walltown Watts in the Sebastian blank from Turned Pen Co. I have Frankensteined this with a Sailor Pro Gear nib, so the 21 karat gold nib in medium, and it's just fantastic. The ink that I have in here is Diamine Wagner, and the ink color is also absolutely great. It's just the perfect murky olive green, light olive green that I'm always drawn to. This pen is the Walltown Watts in the Turned Pen Co. blank Sebastian. It houses a Pro Gear medium nib, 21 karat gold, and I have removed the nib and feed from a Sailor Pro Gear and put it into a Jowo housing for a Sailor Pro Gear nib from Flexible Nib Factory. This is the most amazing, surprising experience. I'm expecting a Jowo nib, but instead I'm surprised by the bouncy Pro Gear nib. Wasn't able to write much about the ink. The ink is definitely, I think it could be a tiny bit greener, so I'm giving it a 9. The flow is outstanding, a 10, and the pen, especially with this surprising nib inside, is a 10. Wow, I'm just so in love with this. I need to rinse this. There is some ink in the cap right here, but yeah, so cool, so amazing. Wow, I keep forgetting that date. I also inked this pen on March 29th. The next pen is the Sailor Pro Gear in collaboration with Yoseka Origin. It has a 21 karat fine nib, and it is surprisingly lovely as well. It definitely has a very, very fine nib, but I have been really enjoying writing with these fine nibs in my creative journal. So that is also something that I would like to change, adjust. I want to ink more of my finer nibs in this next go, and I've had quite a bit of medium to even broad feeling nibs in that rotation, and I've been gravitating towards the same old fine nibs. So that is something that I'd really love to change. Hence the whole clean slate thing. So again, this is the Sailor Pro Gear in collaboration with Yoseka Origin. It has a fine 21 karat gold nib. The fine nib was tuned by Greg Minushkin, and the ink that is in the pen is Lennon Toolbar Wenchan Puchong T. This pen wins just because of the finial. It also wins because it has such an enjoyable fine nib. Want more of these experiences. Surprisingly, this ink gets a 10 from me. Maybe I should give it a 9. I love the dark green olive hue, but it's almost a little bit too gray for me. So this, just with a little bit more green, just like that, the Diamine Wagner would be perfect. So yes, ink a 9 is great. Flow is amazing in this fine nib, and the pen is a Sailor. What can I say more? I really love my Sailor nibs, and also the pens. I'm trying to curate a collection of Sailor Pro Gears that make me extremely happy. So I have actually let go of some of them that I thought I needed, but then I realized, I don't enjoy the overall experience, like the overall design, coloring of this specific Sailor Pro Gear. Don't enjoy it as much as I do others. So I've let those go. And also, I love having the option of putting just a regular Sailor nib into a Jowo housing, or even a Bach housing for that matter. All right, the next pen is the Lamy 2000 Black Macrolon. This one has a medium 14 karat gold nib, and it is definitely lovely to write with. I mainly used this for letter writing just because it's so broad. Feels more like a marker, and that just didn't really work well in my journal. I feel like my handwriting, especially when I want to put a little bit more info on a constricted space, that just doesn't work that well. And so yeah, I do have a fine nib that is on loan with a friend. Might be lost forever, I don't know really. I need to put the date when I inked this pen. Man, I inked this February 12th. So these are still all of my February pens. Maybe that's why I feel like I need to change it up. but all of them have been working so well for me, and that's another reason why I really can't let go. So I do have a fine nib, but that is on loan with a friend, and so I'm hoping to get it back sometime. The pen is the Lamy 2000 in black macrolon with a medium 14 karat gold nib. The ink that is inside this pen is Birmingham Pen Company Snowflake. This nib feels like a marker. It is lovely, but the more I use the pen, I'm not sure it's the right one. Not drawn to it as much as I'm drawn to others. The ink is absolutely lovely. It's a Birmingham Pen Co. ink, Snowflake, and I am a sucker for these types of colors. You will see that in the next pen and ink pairing as well. It feels very saturated. It's a 10. The flow is a 10, and the pen, I think I'm giving the pen an 8. I put it in the writing here. I wish I was drawn more to this pen when it is inked, and I need to explore this a little bit more, but for now I'm giving myself a bit of a break. I inked this pen on February 17th. This pen is the Pilot Custom 742. I shared an unboxing and, first impressions video of this in my last Saturday. And yeah, man, it is definitely, I think what surprised me most was that I wanted to give this nib another try just to see how well if I would get along with it better, if this was a viable option for me to have in my nib collection. And I was so extremely surprised by how awesome, how good my handwriting looked without too much effort, and how I enjoyed it. And so this is definitely a nib that is going to stay. I think I didn't have very many expectations on this pen, and so it was easy for the pen to wow me. This I just inked on April 5th. This is the Pilot Custom 742 in black with an FA nib, 14 karat gold. The ink inside is a 2024 special edition by Rohrer und Klingner called Blue-Eyed Mary. This pen took me by surprise. I love it. I enjoy the speed. Slow motion I need to use in order to use the flex function of the pen. I love how my handwriting looks with it. I was sent a sample of this ink by my friend Wendy Sue, and after putting it in this nib, I went out and bought it right away because it's so lovely. The flow is not as good as I would hope it would be. There is quite a little bit of railroading when I'm writing a small paragraph in a letter, but I have already purchased an ebonite feed from Flexible Nib Factory, and that is supposed to be delivered today, so I can't wait to swap that out. And then the pen is a 10. I did not expect, especially given the fact that this is supposed to be a little bit smaller than the 743 or the 823, how comfortable this is. And it's just a black pen, but I love it. So I did purchase with the ebonite feed, I did purchase a housing so that I could move it to a pen with a JoWo compatible, section. But for now, I think I'm going to keep it in here because I just like how lovely it looks. The next pen is a bit of a surprise. This is the Sailor 1911 Large. This is the Wicked Witch of the West. It has a broad nib. And I wasn't drawn to this in the beginning when I purchased it secondhand from a friend. But I have been enjoying this so much lately that I can't wait to re-ink it with a different ink. This ink also is so nice. Unfortunately, it's not an ink that I want to purchase at the moment. Yeah, so I'll just... This is definitely a pen that I am very sad to unink, but it might just be one of them. So I inked this on February 22nd. This is the Sailor 1911 Large with a broad 21 karat gold nib. It is a North American special, the Wicked Witch of the West. The ink color that is inside is Colorverse Witch by Starlight. This pen is so lovely. Comfort, ink, color, all of it comes together so nicely. The ink is a winner as well. So good. The ink, I give a 10. There is some shimmer in it. I love how it, separates and multi-shades into when used with water. The flow in this pen is, wow, can we see the shimmer? There is a tiny bit of shimmer here. I would give it a 9 because I'm not always seeing the shimmer. And the pen, man, this pen is just... I'm always drawn or moving between two extremes. Just a regular plain one-colored pen and the sparkly multicolored one. So I feel like I don't have many pens that are in between, but yeah, this is just as exciting as this. So yeah, the pen is definitely a 10. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I would love to own only pens where I feel like they are a 10. I seem to be moving very much towards that goal. So this one is definitely going. This one I still need to check. So I'm also going on the scale of things. I'm able to put those pens on the scales better from 1 to 10, and then also evaluating which one stays and which one doesn't. Then this one is the Sailor Pro Gear Imperial Black. This was my very first Sailor Pro Gear ever, and it, led to all of those other Sailor Pro Gears entering my house. And it has a very special place in my heart, for sure. The interesting thing to me is that it is different enough for it to leave a different impression. Even though these are the same pen, they are the Sailor Pro Gear models, the haptic feel of this pen is different than the haptic feel of this one. And I can't explain it, but it's just stunning. I can't say it any other way. If you can't tell, I have been obsessed with making watery ink dots. I inked this February 26th. Yet another Sailor pen. This is the Sailor Pro Gear Imperial Black with a medium 21 karat gold nib. The ink that is inside is Diamine Lavender. This was my very first Pro Gear ever, and top of the Pro Gear love. Maybe it's the black coated nib. It performs great, and the ink is such a bright and cheery ink color. This ink color is, I'm accumulating quite a few purple inks, but this one is definitely one that I would also want to add to my purple ink lineup, because it's just so light, bright, but purple. It's not magenta. It's just a solid purple that does not disappoint at all. Great pen for sure. I really love this. The last pen in this lineup is the Tiny Benu Pixie in the Honeyburst colorway. It is inked with Wearingeul, a taxidermied genius. This ink to me is very close to Diamine Inkvent Raspberry Rose, and also Tachia Ume Murasaki. It's a little bit more red, a little bit more pink, but it's definitely similar enough that I don't really need to add this to my personal ink lineup. It was inked on February 27. The Benu Pixie in Honey Bronze has a double broad Kaweco nib. I Frankensteined the setup. I removed the Schmidt No. 5 nib from its feed and housing and put the Kaweco nib on top of the Schmidt feed and shoved it all back into the Schmidt housing. The ink that is in this pen is Wearingeul, a taxidermied genius. I loved combining the double broad Kaweco nib with the Benu pen. Great match. It's a fun pen, but does not really hit the requirements for a great pen for me. As you can see, I'm giving the ink an 8. It's lovely. It works okay in this pen, but it's not as complex as this one. And so I'm okay with passing this up. The flow in this pen is great. Seems like I have made great pairings overall for all of the pen and inks that I put together. The pen, I think I'm giving this a 6 for now, maybe a 6.5. It's just too tiny. The grip section is too narrow. And if you don't post this and push down really hard and maybe even twist the cap while posting, it will not stay on securely when I'm holding it. And then I'm pressing a little bit too hard, or I'm choking up on it, then this will come loose and fall off, and that's also, I don't know. So this, I'm not sure it's gonna stay long term. I'll give it another chance or so, but yeah. Yep. So let's talk about all of these pens. I have found some. I think I'm gonna put this away. So the pens that I'm definitely uninking are these. The pens that I would love to keep for now are this one, and this one. So these ones are great pens. I have similar inks in my stash. I know that I'd love them with a different ink, and you know, I'm okay with uninking those. So I'm gonna take all of those out for now. I have written dry some, and this is my cleaning jar. So now, if I'm saying that I'm keeping one more pen in this rotation, the question is which one? This one, I am having a really great experience. This is a bottled ink. I have more of this. This one is these were all inked. Both of those were inked fairly recently. I'm enjoying them a lot, so I want to keep those. Now the thing with these two, I want to keep this ink because I really love the pen and ink combination. I love writing with this pen, but also I know that the feed is going to be delivered today, and so cleaning it out would be the sensible way to go about this, because then I'm not going to get all dirty hands and stuff. So if I am cleaning this and then maybe putting a different ink in here, or the same but with the ebonite feed, I could have this cleaned and then ink it again in the next inking rotation, which would also give me the opportunity to keep this ink a little bit longer in this pen, because I do not have more. So even if it's just a drop left in here, this is all I have and I won't get more. And I really enjoyed this pen. So maybe I should just go with my gut feeling and leave these 3 and then unink all the rest of them. So that's weird. I'm not sure when this video comes out if I have already cleaned and posted this pen. Keep a lookout. I will probably leave in the description box down below. I will let you know if this pen has already sold or not. So there's that. I am really excited to see what's coming next. It was definitely a really, really great run with these pens. That's why it took me so long to unink all of them and make a decision. I'm still very attached to all of those pen and ink pairings, so it must have been a good run for sure. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye.